What's up, guys? Welcome to another exciting episode of The Journey, where I'll be sharing simple lessons from life experiences. And today I'll be having a continuation from where I stopped from last week, which I was talking about my introduction. Let me put it that way, my introduction into the ideology or the subject fear. Dealing with fear. And today, like I said, I will be taking you on another phase in my life, another phase of fear in my life, because like I said, it's more or less like I am putting all this thing into plots. These stories, I am basically putting them into plots. I have the introduction, I have the beginning, how it all started, and this is another stage for me. Is another stage, and this stage I'll be talking about failure, the fear of failure. Every one of us has come across that little experience at one point in our life where we deal with failure, but most time it doesn't really come at that action word where you actually failed. It comes to us as a thought. So let me take it from this perspective, especially the school, using the school system as an example. Then I would say some of my experience in dealing with it or how it affected me too. So when you look at a school system, you sit for lectures, from a certain period of time, and after that period of time you do tests just to ensure that everything that you are being taught, you are getting it, you understand everything. When you do a test, there's room for correction and rest like that. The test is just like a preparation for an exam. That's basically what the test does for you. It's a preparation for an exam. And when you now sit for an exam, especially promotion exam, there are two things that can happen. It's either you repeat or you get promoted. When you repeat, that means the remaining colleagues of yours get promoted to the next class while you remain. And the same thing too applies with life. There are certain areas where you keep failing and you keep failing and you keep failing. And people keep leaving you behind. And you start wondering, is your life going to get better? Why? Because you just assume that everything about your life resonates around failure. People keep leaving you behind. Now, to my story, I started experiencing the fear of failure in my junior secondary school. I was in GS2 back then when I started having these thoughts of failure. Like I said in my last episode, the mind plays tricks on us. I don't know, there is a script that fear just write. It's a particular program and it's installed in our mind. And when that program gets activated, it starts playing various tricks within us. Imagine me in GS2. I've not sat for my GS3 lessons. I'm already thinking about GS3 exams and me failing. That's very, very funny. I'm not yet in GS3, but I'm already thinking about my GS3 exam. I've not been taught all the subjects that will entail me to sit for GS3 exams, but here I am thinking about, how am I going to do the exam? How am I going to pass the exams? That went by. GS3 came, I sat for the exam, got promoted to SS1. But I didn't really know how to deal with that fear, because I didn't really understand that, oh, this was fear for me. I was having fear of failure. I didn't really understand it like that as at then. But looking back for me right now, it started becoming more clearer to me that, oh, so this thing actually started back then. If I had been dealing with it since then, ignoring it, becoming more confident in myself, in my abilities, in what I'm being taught, maybe I would have done more better than I have in life. So fast forward to my SS class. I was in SS1. The next thing is, the same thing happened again. I started thinking about my WAEC, SS3 exam, WAEC. How am I going to succeed? How am I going to excel in this exam? My mind has started again, playing tricks on me, telling me that I can't, telling me that I need to doubt myself, that I am not good enough. I can't sit for this exam and pass. And basically that was the story for me. But you know one thing, this time around, I started experiencing failure right from my SS1. After SS1, boom, I got back up. I started challenging myself, started pushing forward. But not knowing that there was failure awaiting me. I must say, when WAEC came, I knew how I sat for that exam and how I prepared for it. Midnight candles, yeah, I did it. Top 3 in my class within that period, but still yet, I failed. I wasn't able to get the most important subject that can grant me admission into the university. But I wasn't the only one, which was basically one thing that I should have looked at. My entire set, I don't know what happened. Every one of us failed. We couldn't get either maths or English. Those that failed both subjects failed. But the entire set in my school at that moment failed. And for me, I considered failure as a stigma. Failure was more or less like a stigma to me. I didn't see failure as a stepping stone, which I should have seen failure as. Failure should be a stepping stone so that you can do better next time. But right now, I have come to understand that everybody fails in life. Even in business, everybody fails. Some people fail in their marriages. But back then, I saw failure as a stigma, where I am being left behind and everybody keep moving forward. And one thing it did to me is I started doubting myself. I started doubting in my own abilities, that I was good enough to do something and succeed at it. I felt like anything I venture into, I was just going to fail. I saw myself as a complete failure. But the truth is, that is basically what failure did to me. It made me not to see the other side, which I was basically doing well. There is another side in my life that I was basically excelling. Even when people saw that I wasn't a failure, that alone crippled me from trying again. It crippled me from believing that I could be more in life. And basically, the way we interact with this thing differs. How another person will interact with failure will be different from how I will interact with failure. How another person will interact with fear will be different from how I will interact with fear. So we all interact with all these experiences of life on a different level and with a different energy. So looking back right now, I can say that fear dealt with me. The fear of failure dealt with me. That for certain number of years, it's like I was stuck. I was stagnant. I couldn't move forward. Why? Because I felt I was a failure. I doubted myself. I could not believe anything good can happen through me. That was how bad it was. But I'm glad today that I have moved past that. I have come to understand that failure is just like a manure, like a fertilizer that you add to the soil of your life so that your plant of success can grow better in life. So I stopped seeing failure as a stigma. I realized that, in life, whether you like it or not, you will find people that will leave you behind, friends that will leave you behind. But one thing you need to tell yourself is, don't get stagnant. Don't get to a point where you stop moving. You need to be moving, no matter the pace at which you are going in life. The most important thing is you are moving. Keep moving. Keep taking that step. Now, I have come to understand that, failure cannot be eliminated in our life. It is a constant thing in life. We battle with it every single day. Even though it has different faces. Yes, failure has different faces. While me, I'm struggling with fear of failure, my friend could be struggling with fear of starting something. Another friend of mine can be dealing with the fear of losing his job due to circumstances that are happening around them. So that's why I said fear has different faces. And how you determine the face you're wearing all depend on the happenings around you, the circumstance around you. How was I able to handle and deal with the fear of failure in my life to come to that point where I could realize that, failure is not actually a stigma, and I should not be afraid of failing. It is basically a part of life. And it doesn't mean that you are a failure. You only become a failure when you stop trying. At that moment in my life that I stopped trying, I was a failure. But the time that I came to realization that, I can no longer continue like this, my mind woke up to the reality that I needed to wake up to. How did I get myself out of it? I was able to find people that I could talk to. I started seeing life differently. But those periods that I was experiencing these challenges, there is nothing you tell me at that point that would enter my ears or that I would listen to, because I just felt to myself that, boy, you are a complete failure. Even with different attempts to try, I will just keep procrastinating. So my mind woke up to the reality that I needed to wake up to, that I am not a failure. Failure is not a stigma. Failure is a constant part of life. Failure is something that we deal with every day. The moment you can start training your mind till accept that reality, the better for you to begin to move forward. Else, you'll be stagnant all your life. And for you not to be stagnant, you need to begin to move forward. So, I have dealt with the fear of failure. I have dealt with failure. I have interacted with them. And I have found a way of dealing with them, which is I discuss with people that can help me. Not people that will make me feel less of myself. Not people that will look down on me, but people that believe and see things that I can't see about myself and keep pushing me further. I try to put myself in the company of people that can help me grow. Yeah, people that can help me grow. So you just need to find people around you, support system, people that believe in you, people that can help you grow, people that can help you discover your true potential. I would say it wasn't easy. It wasn't a day's journey for me. Years of my life, I felt stagnant. But the year that I realized that, I can no longer continue like this, my life needs to move forward. That year, I started moving forward. Things started turning around for me. Things started turning around for me. I started seeing results. Why? Because I started believing in myself. But does it mean that fear was totally dissipated in my life? I totally removed fear out of my life? No. I'm sure you've heard this statement before. You can keep a bird from nesting over your house. You can keep it from nesting, but you can't stop it from perching over your house. They are two different things. Building a nest over your house, you can always destroy that net and scatter it. But for the bird to perch, you can't stop it. That's the same way fear is. Don't give room for it. Don't even allow it to sit for a single minute in your mind to think and deliberate with you. Deal with it. Don't feel like you are not good enough. Don't start doubting yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe in your abilities. Believe in what you can achieve and go for it. Talk to people around you, people you can trust, people that can support you. And trust me, before you know it, you're moving forward. So, till I come your way again in another episode where I'll be talking about another stage of fear, that is where I had an experience of dealing with the fear of losing your job. Yeah, I dealt with that at a point in my life where I felt like I was going to lose this job with all the happenings around me. But till the next episode where I'll be sharing that with you. So till I come your way again next week, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button so that you can always be the first to know anytime I drop a new episode. I'd love to hear from you in the comment section below so that I can get to know how I'm doing and improving with my videos and content. So till I come your way again next week, have a great day.